What's up, hockey fans? Welcome to the first episode of Don't Give No Pucks. My name is Joey with my buddy, my brother, my co-host Brandon.
What's up, guys? I'm Brandon.
So basically, Don't Give No Pucks was an idea me and Brandon had. We're big hockey fans in general, specifically Ranger fans. We did an idea. We were going back and forth. We should make a Twitter. We should make an Instagram. And then basically after watching multiple games together, numerous games with our wives,
and getting our hearts broken.
Getting our hearts broken. Yep. Getting our hearts broken together. Our wives sitting there hearing us yell and curse and just be degenerate Ranger fans. They were like, "Why don't you guys just make a podcast?"
They told us to go get a room, so we got a virtual room.
Exactly. This is what's gonna have to do for now until we can get a little physical room. But we're gonna be here talking everything NHL, not just the Rangers. We won't be biased, even though I'm pretty sure Brandon's tank top is a Rangers tank top.
I'm not biased, though. I really can't stand this team. I've been a fan for 30 years, and they broke my heart. We went through a really bad divorce back on June 1st, 2024, when they got eliminated in Game 6 to the Florida Panthers. They broke my heart. I want to talk about it.
When I just say he's the worst fan ever, one goal in the first 5 minutes, first period, it's over. They sucked. You think this team's going to the Stanley Cup? You think this is a winning team?
Was I right? Was I right? Thank you.
Okay. Anyway,
I rest my case.
So yeah, hope you guys will subscribe, follow us through the journey, see where it goes. We're honestly just here to have fun and hopefully see what it brings us. So first off, we're going to talk about off-season trades. What was your biggest do you think was the most powerful move?
Well, you want to talk about the Rangers or just in general?
In general, I mean, if it's the Rangers, sure.
I'm not even going to talk about trades for a second. I'm going to
wait. Hold on one second.
Hey, this is what happens when you're a Ranger fan. Okay.
I got some grays.
Okay. See, I mean, when you have the type of passion like me, maybe after this season you'll look like me, dude.
Going back, how could it be about the Rangers? What moves did they make in the offseason? Nothing. Riley Smith? I mean, listen, I don't hate it, but Riley Smith.
It's about the moves they didn't make. It's about the fact that they didn't take their captain and launch him into outer space.
You could attest to this. I defended Jacob Trouba as long as I could.
Listen,
as long as I could.
I root for his success, okay? I do. I don't wish him to be bad, but the reality is that he sucks. He sucks. Okay, he's a 4 foot tall traffic cone.
I was gonna say 2 seasons ago, you told me that he was a traffic cone, and it took until this past season for me to realize he's a traffic cone.
So
who makes art? He makes art.
He makes art, and he's a bad artist too. You know what? I think he's worse in hockey than he is at art, but he's pretty bad at both.
Listen, your birthday is coming up. If I bought you a Jacob Trouba jersey with a piece of his artwork, would you accept it?
I would accept it because it came from you.
Would it be one of your worser gifts that I've given you? Is worser a word?
We just made it a word.
It's a word for me.
It's a word now. I mean, hockey fans don't have to be intelligent. We don't need to worry about vocab. We can make up words.
I mean, we call hair lettuce, right?
That's right. I mean, what hair, right? I have no lettuce. Freaking potato skin.
We call annoying people pigeons.
That's a good one, though.
That is a good one.
Jacob Trouba is a pigeon.
Jacob Trouba is a pigeon. All right. Focus here.
Okay, focus.
What was in your opinion, the best offseason move for any team, whoever you want to talk about?
The Nashville Predators, 100%. They made the playoffs last year. They were a team that wasn't supposed to make the playoffs. They got eliminated in round 1 to the Vancouver Canucks. They signed Steven Stamkos and John Marchessault. Those were actually 2 guys I was less so Stamkos, but I was hoping that maybe the Rangers would keep an eye on and see if they can sign at least one of them to be a top right winger to play next to Kreider and Mika. But the fact that both of those guys went to Nashville, I think I think they're going to make a run this year, 100%.
How old is Marchessault, by the way?
I could look up. It's funny. He was originally in the Rangers farm system. Did you know that?
I did not.
He was in their
I
farm
did know
system.
that, but I will say it was more disappointing to see him go than Stamkos. I don't know how many more years Stamkos has. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a great player. He's an absolutely great player. What does he have? 3 cups?
He's got 2 cups.
Okay, 2 cups. Great player. Great center. I just, to me, I think he's getting towards the end of his career, and the Rangers have so much youth on their side. I would have liked to see them sign somebody else, not Stamkos. I wasn't sad to see Stamkos not get signed by the Rangers.
Yeah, I agree, and I think he signed, what was it, an $8 million annual average deal for 4 years. I think that at that
Still
price
good
tag,
for him.
Yeah, good for him. He got paid.
Yeah, he
Secured
got
the
paid.
bag, but
Exactly.
I think at that price tag, I don't think the Rangers could have afforded it because they're paying $8 million to you know who else?
Number 8, Jacob Trouba,
To your traffic cone.
the
Okay.
captain.
And what drives me even more crazy is that I don't know how true the rumors are. You see them on Twitter, you see them everywhere, but the fact that the Rangers tried to move him, but they are trying to accommodate the fact that his wife is in her residency. She's a doctor.
Dr. Trubes. Shout
Dr.
out to Dr. Trouba.
Listen, I respect the fact that at least one of them in the relationship has a brain, but I can't say that. Oh, no.
Listen, I understand. Listen, I wanted to talk about this, not so much in the beginning, but that's fine. But I understand what he's doing. He's doing it for his family. He's doing it for Donnie, his dog. Like, he doesn't want to uproot his dog, Donnie. He's got to make sure that he pees on the same trees. No, I'm just kidding. But I understand his wife. Like, we both have wives. We understand that, like, our wives are very important. We speak about this all the time. Like, without our wives.
My wife who set up my mic and my camera because I don't know how to do any of this from a technical.
Brandon's he's a finance bro. So, like, any numbers you crunch, he's got you. Bro. But when it comes to, like, turning on the TV and connecting it to, like, Wi-Fi to stream something, he's not your guy for that. But that's okay. That's why we go together.
You know why? Because the only thing I know how to turn on the TV is MSG.
Exactly. And shout out to my wife because I drove her nuts about asking about every single thing you could to start this podcast that probably like 10 people are going to watch, but that's fine because we're having fun right now. Shout out to my wife for sticking by us. Shout out to Eliza, shout out to Gina for just making us stay sane through the playoffs, through the Ranger seasons, through our podcast, through everything and believing in us. So we love you guys. Getting back to hockey, I understand why he did that. Like, it's not just him he has to worry about now. He's close to 30. He's 30 years old. I mean, close to it, if not. But I will say he's not going to have an easy season at MSG this year.
Listen, I agree 100% with everything you just said, but it's not for the Rangers organization to make accommodations for players' wives and families, right? At the end of the day, this is a business.
And I understand that, but no trade clause exists for a reason like this.
Yeah, he has a partial no trade clause, and there's got to be a way you can move him. I just don't see it being practical to keep the guy on the team. First off, he doesn't add any value. It's one actually, excuse me. He's a total.
Come on, bro. The true train.
He's good for a questionable hit once.
He was there. He was there before Matt Rempe and Ryan Reeves. He was our guy. Come on, you got to give him that.
Do you pay $8 million a year to a guy who can occasionally throw a chicken wing elbow?
Bro, Matt Rempe is making an entry-level contract right now, okay, doing way more than Jacob Trouba. But I'm saying when we didn't have Matt Rempe, Jacob Trouba did stick up for his teammates.
That doesn't take away from the fact that he is a liability on defense. He's not a good player.
I mean, he's not a great offensive player either, but I get what you're saying.
All right, moving. I root for his success. So do you.
Yes,
if he's going to be on the ice the opening night, I'll be cheering for him the same way you will. Again, I don't know about that, I root for his success. I don't have high expectations. Okay, we could put that to rest and move on from the Trooper train.
touching on the off season, and we spoke about this previously. I think everyone is thinking past season like, wow, like Carolina was absolutely amazing. The Rangers, whatever, like people are going to expect that Carolina to be the Rangers like issue all season, especially come the postseason. We already spoke. Carolina has no one left. Who do they have left?
Garbage.
Like,
No,
I'm not saying
they're going to
garbage.
be they're going to be a good team this year. They're not going to be as good as they were this year and the year prior, when they got swept in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Florida Panthers 2 years ago. They're still going to be a good team. Okay, they were the third best team in the NHL this year from a points standpoint. I don't think that a team that finished that high in the standings is just going to fall off the cliff and not make the playoffs.
No.
With that being said, though, I do agree that they're not going to be as much of a problem this year around the league as they were this past season. They
Yeah.
lost a lot of great players. I think there's a bigger issue down there in Carolina, that why aren't players staying there? Right? I
Never
mean,
thought about that.
is it not an attractive place to play? I mean, I like their coach. I like Rod Brindamore. I always liked him as a player, and I think he's a great coach. But maybe there's something going on behind the scenes that is not being spoken about.
I mean, the coach obviously from a regular fan standpoint, they don't really see as much as, I mean, think about when we were kids, for example. You see the players and the coach, you think that's the whole organization. You don't see the GM, you don't see, all these high executives within the franchise. For all you know, yeah, Rod may be a great guy and a great coach, but I don't know who their GM is. But he could be.
I think it's Ron Francis. They just hired a new GM.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they just hired a new GM.
So, I mean, exactly like you said, it could be that. It could be one player on the team that, like, shout out to Tony DeAngelo on the Rangers, that in the locker room is a problem.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe it is Tony DeAngelo in their locker room. But I'm just saying, you don't know. They do have a pretty.
Is he still a free agent, by the way?
Yeah, no one signed him, I don't
I
think.
don't think he's signing. All right, he's a big locker room problem.
Yeah, I mean, I had my feelings about him and with the Rangers. I never had a problem with him, but when I heard allegations that were never deemed to be true or not, if they were true, that's pretty messed up.
The problem is that he was never really a bad player. He was the QB on the power play, and a decent offensive defenseman.
Dude, I remember when he left, where he went to Carolina first, right?
He went to Carolina and then Philly and then back to Carolina. I might be missing.
When he left, I remember vividly you sending me screenshots of him having like 2 goals and an assist. You're like, Tony TDA lighting it up. Like, I remember that.
You kept the receipts.
I have receipts on everything this man says, because he said that the Rangers would be bounced in the first round, and they weren't.
Oh, I mean, sometimes it's better to mentally prepare yourself for a heartbreak and then just get it out later on.
I have a question for you. What are your thoughts on Jake Gensel going to Tampa when Tampa doesn't really have much of a lineup either?
Tampa, well, it's an attractive place to play. Florida's now a hockey state. Okay, the last 5 Stanley Cup finals featured a Florida team. The last 2 being the Panthers, and then 3 years in a row before that were the Lightning. The Lightning, they lost Stamkos. That's huge, but they're still a good team. They're still a threat. John Cooper behind the bench. I think he's one. I like
John Cooper.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite coaches in the NHL.
Yeah,
and it's an attractive place to play. Florida is a no-income state, so same thing with places like Nashville and Dallas. It's an attractive place for players to play.
I didn't realize something. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. So shout out to Mike from work, my day job. Mike was telling me that it didn't click that it also, if you're a celebrity or if you're it applies to everyone, that if you live in Florida, your income doesn't get taxed no matter what bracket you're in or what like your job is. So he was saying Gensel's obviously going to go to Florida and make his $8 million a year rather than come to New York and make $8 million when he's only going to end up getting whatever it is with taxes, $6 million, let's say.
100%. 100%. And by the way, going back a few minutes, I want to just correct something. I said Ron Francis was the GM of the Hurricanes. He's the GM of the Seattle Kraken. Is my mistake.
Okay.
Don't
ever do it again.
I will never do it again.
Don't.
Otherwise, you're going to have to find a new co-host.
No, you're the co-founder. We founded this together, bro. You can't go. There's nowhere you can go. I heard that, by the way. Anyway,
I'm trapped in this box.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams too. I wonder, like Dallas. Like, is Dallas going to come back hot? I mean, Dallas was always like, in my opinion, they were like good, and then they had their downs, and then they were good again, and then they were okay in the playoffs. Like, a lot of these teams, it's just like, are they just going to come back and be the same team that they finished off as, or
Well, let's do this. Okay. This is something that I wanted to do with you. Let's go through all the teams that made the playoffs this year and see which ones have a likelihood of returning to the playoffs.
Do you want to know your Eastern Conference final next year? Actually, I'm not gonna say it.
Say it.
I'm not gonna say it.
Say it. Say no. You can't say it and then not say it.
I will say this. You know who's gonna win the Stanley Cup next year?
I can tell you who's not.
I could tell you who's gonna win: the Grade 8 and the Washington Capitals.
No way.
I'm trolling. I'm just kidding.
No way. They shouldn't have made the playoffs this year.
Honestly, though, I love Charlie Lindgren. I really do.
Yeah. I definitely want to have a beer with that whole family.
Yes. Maybe multiple beers, actually. Honestly, that is probably the most accurate thing you've said to me all day.
You think I would look good with those handlebars?
You had them during Memorial Day. We were in the fire department. I don't know why you ever shaved them.
Well,
I still have that photo somewhere because I have receipts.
I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal.
What?
If Jacob Trouba scores a goal on opening night, I'll grow my handlebars back.
That's a win-win. But he's not going to score, so
there you go. That's how confident I am.
I'll send him a DM right now, or I'll tweet him. All right, what were you asking me now?
All right, let's go through the teams that made the playoffs in the 2023-2024 season, and let's give some takes about which ones are going to return to the playoffs and which ones are not. So we are going to start with let's go to the Western Conference first. Okay.
Oof.
The Dallas Stars were the top seed in the West. Are they making it to the playoffs in the 2024-2025 season? I say yes, I agree with you.
Yes.
We'll keep track of which ones we agree and which we don't agree, and we'll keep the receipts and revisit this.
Although I do feel bad, Joe Pavelski.
Yeah, listen, he's going to go down as one of those guys who, one of the greatest players without a championship. We could only think of Henrik
Lundqvist. Yeah.
Right? Obviously. So, yeah, he had everything else except for a cup. So we both agree that the Stars are returning to the playoffs. They defeated the Vegas Golden Knights, who were the second.
Vegas Golden Knights, frauds.
Big frauds.
Not because they killed my parlay. Frauds. Okay? Just frauds. Probably my number one hated team.
You and many other people, I actually don't hate them because
I don't actually hate them, but
no, I don't particularly care for the Vegas Golden Knights. My wife likes them very much because they have cool jerseys. So
that's a typical thing that Eliza would say.
Hey, listen.
Can we just talk about how both of them, not to keep talking about the Rangers, but we are slightly biased. I'm wearing a Rangers hat. I guarantee if he turns his hat around, it's a Rangers hat.
One that you gave me.
I did give you that hat. During the playoffs, Igor lets in one goal. I text Brandon, he texts me. Our wives say the same thing. Why don't they pull Igor? What about the three guys in front of the net that are just standing there looking at the puck go in the back of the net?
I'm starting to think maybe our ladies are onto something.
Yeah, don't give Igor $12 million. He doesn't
No.
deserve it. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, Vegas.
Dallas,
Are they
yes.
making the playoffs or are they not?
No.
I don't know. I think they're going to. I think they're going to make the
Maybe a wild
playoffs
card. Maybe. I don't think they're going to finish top seed or close to it.
as long as they get in, I guess. So, Winnipeg.
Yes,
Winnipeg, I would say, yeah, they were a great team this year, but
they
they
were.
choked. They choked in the
Dude, the
first
West
round.
is hard, man. Like, I feel like you tell me every team, I'm going to say they're going to make it. It's hard.
Right. I mean, yeah, I got to say yes to Winnipeg, even though they choked in the first round. A lot of people had them going all the way to the cup,
Yeah.
but they only managed to squeeze out one win in the playoffs. And,
Yeah.
the hockey's a tough sport. How about the Avalanche?
I think the Avalanche need to figure out. Georgie was not great on the Rangers. He's been A with Avalanche, but I mean, you're winning games. Let's say 7-5, even to let in 5 goals on a. It's not. I don't think that. I do think they get in, but they need to figure out goaltending.
I think they're actually I disagree with you on that last statement, but I agree with you on the fact that they're going to make the playoffs again. I do think Alex Georgiev is a good goalie. I liked him when he was on the Rangers. I think we differed in opinions about that.
I think you just like him because he's Russian and his name is really Sasha, but I don't know.
Either way, yeah, I think Colorado is 100% making the playoffs. Kale McCarr, Nathan McKinnon, and Gabriel Landeskog should be returning for the start of the season. So they're a powerhouse in the West.
And what about Nichushkin?
He's still going to be on the team next year?
He's in the player assistance program for
Right.
cocaine. I believe it was cocaine for 6-month suspension.
Yeah, that's it's kind of sad.
It is sad, and I mean, anyone who's struggling with that, obviously, it's a horrible thing to deal with. But I can't wrap my head around it. You're making millions of dollars. You're an excellent player. It's like being a lawyer and being the top lawyer in the business, and then just being like, nope, I'm gonna throw my whole business away. But again, it is very sad what he's going through, and I hope he can figure it out because it would be a wasted talent for him to be thrown out of the league or not be allowed to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope he gets the help that he needs and see him back on the ice.
Yeah.
Vancouver, they were a huge surprise this season because nobody had expected them to be as good as they were.
Yeah.
So I love JT Miller. I think that
I also love Quinn Hughes.
I like that whole family.
I hate the whole family except for Quinn.
I like the whole family.
You like Jack Hughes?
I mean,
his stupid little celly.
He's a great player.
What are you, 13 years old?
Talent respects talent. I like Vancouver. They're going to make the playoffs again. So we went through 5 teams so far. And right now we have them all making the playoffs again. So
that's what I'm saying with the West, man. It's hard.
Yeah. Nashville, yes. We spoke about that earlier.
Yeah, 100%. Nashville, yeah.
Edmonton.
They still have Roman Josi, by the way.
Isn't there a captain?
I don't know if he's still with the team, though. He's old.
I think he's their captain.
He's got to be like 36. Not saying 36 is old. I'm saying
34.
For hockey.
He's 34.
All right, give or take a couple of years. He's still with the team, right?
He's their captain.
Okay. Unlike the Rangers, they have a good captain who's productive to the team.
Edmonton.
No, I don't.
No way. They went from what they came 1 win away from winning the cup.
And dude, I wanted them to take it all when the Rangers were out. I wanted them to take it all. You crawled out of a hole just to fall back into it.
What shirt are you wearing? What shirt are you wearing?
A dear friend of mine bought this when he went to the Eastern Conference Finals games. Oh no, that wasn't the Eastern Conference Final, was it?
Yeah, it was game 2. That was the Barclay game winner.
He was very nice enough to bring it back for me, and his name is Brandon, in case you were wondering.
It's me. Yeah, the guy in the street gave me a great deal.
Shout out to the Haitian man on 7th Avenue.
Love him.
Great guy.
So
Hopefully we see him this year, man.
that's why I bring dollar bills now to Ranger games in case I want to buy a T-shirt after.
Who else do you have in the West?
So you're saying Edmonton makes the playoffs or doesn't make the playoffs?
I mean, how many more teams do we have in the West? What are they all going to make the playoffs?
Listen, I say Edmonton's going to win, and I think they might win the cup. They eliminated the LA Kings in the first round.
Kings are not making it. Edmonton's in.
Agreed. All right. So who is going to make it from the West in place of the Kings?
I said Edmonton.
No. Well, you're saying the Kings are not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So who's going to? So that's 7 teams that we're saying are going to go back to the playoffs. So who's the 8th team?
Seattle Kraken.
I guess I was going to say. So we're on the same page.
Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, they're gonna make it. I like 2 years ago.
They have nice jerseys. Not Vegas, Elisa. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. I think that the Kraken are going to make the playoffs again. 2 years ago, they went to Game 7 of Round 2.
Against who? I forgot. Was it Vegas?
You got me on that one. There's another team that I think might make the playoffs out of the West. Perhaps maybe the Minnesota Wild.
All I'm thinking of is perhaps. TJ Khaled. Shout out TJ Khaled. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, so the Wild was always dangerous. They had Marc-Andre Fleury in goal, Kaprizov, Kravtsov. Like they had
Grill.
What?
Matt Zuccarello.
Matt Zuccarello. Like, there's no reason. They're like the Rangers. There's no reason that team should not be going further. Do you agree to that statement?
I would say the Minnesota Wild are the most mid team in the NHL.
Really?
They're a team that's always going to be just like on the edge. And just like, I feel like they're never in position to just make a run, which is crazy because Minnesota is a hockey state.
So minus Marc-Andre Fleury, who he's had his fair share of playoffs and all that, you think all the young guys are wasting their time there?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't see a world in which the Wild are going to make a run. At least
fair enough. Fair enough.
Moving on to the Eastern Conference. Let's take it from the top. Rangers.
Yes.
Yeah. First round exit though, but yeah. The Carolina Hurricanes.
Not even going to entertain that.
We should entertain it.
The Hurricanes,
You'll be entertaining it when you look back on this when they get eliminated in the first round next year.
Listen, the Hurricanes, I think a lot of people are not going to like this, but I think they're going to be a wild card. But I do think they skate in there.
Possible.
No pun intended.
I agree with it. The Islanders.
No.
I say yeah. I think the Islanders are going to be good this year. I think the Islanders are going to be good this year.
I was talking to someone about this, and the thing is there. Everyone's going to get upset at this too. Sorokin fell apart.
Look, let's recap this for a second. And for what it's worth, I've been to way more Islander games in my life than I have Rangers games.
That's a lie.
It's 100% the truth.
Why?
Because we grew up 20 minutes away from Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah, but that's a lie. What did you go every week?
When I was in, so all of those matinee games on like MLK Day, I would always go to those. Our hockey team always used to go to Islander games.
Yeah, that I remember.
They were fun. But I do think that the Islanders are going to be a good team this year. Like, just to quickly recap their season last year, they had a coaching change, which I think was about 10 to 15 games too late.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. That I do agree with.
Lane Lambert, who I believe is joining the staff on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I never liked him as a coach there. I do think they fired him, like I said, 10 to 15
a little premature.
Games. I know, too late.
Oh, yeah, too late.
I think they should have fired him sooner. And then they got Patrick Raw, who was I've always liked him. I liked him when he was a player, and I liked him when he was a coach too. And I think he has a pretty good grip over there, and the players respect him. So it's going to be interesting to see what the team is going to look like under his coaching for a full season.
Speaking of coaches we like, is Marty St. Louis still with Montreal?
Yes, he is. Yes,
Okay.
he is. I was talking about this someone the other day.
Uh,
I love that guy.
yeah, I
It's,
like him
it's,
too.
it's impossible to not like him.
Yeah,
And a huge offseason move for the Islanders was signing Anthony Duclair.
yeah,
I so again, that's somebody who began his career with the Rangers,
right.
and then he ended up hopping around the league. He's been on like 9 teams or something, and good to see him land with the Islanders. I think he's going to be very much value added to their team. I think the Islanders make the playoffs this year, and I think they're a very, very good team this year too. I don't want to, go so far to say they're a contender, but I think they might make some noise, and they might be one of those teams. Don't sleep on them. So
I'll
you're saying
I'll I'll retract my statement and say this: that if they don't figure out their goaltending early on, they will not make the playoffs. If they figure it out and Sorokin goes back to how he was when it was Igor versus Sorokin like a year ago, then they will definitely be a much better team. I like
100%?
Duclair. I think I was talking to someone about that the other day too. Like he said, I told you what he sent me. He said, "Oh, Duclair is going to win us the cup," and I was like, one player does not win you the cup. Like you
Look,
need a whole team. It has to be a well-oiled machine. The cup.
the Islanders made the playoffs last year in lieu of a very turbulent season. Okay, and like I said before, I think under a full season of Patrick Ross coaching, I think they're going to make the playoffs. They're a great team. Bo Horvat, Matt Barzal, Brock Nelson, Anders Lee, Anthony Duclair, Ilya Sorokin, Noah Dobson. This is a good team. So, and you know what? It's good for New York hockey to see both teams make the playoffs. I hope.
Listen, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I hope that we get the privilege, or should I say, discomfort of seeing the teams play each other in the playoffs.
Listen, and that's another thing I want to like talk about. Just because I'm a Ranger fan doesn't mean no one believed me because most of our friends or coworkers, whatever, are Islander fans. No one believed me when I said, "Listen, if it was the other way around and the Islanders were in the Eastern Conference Final, I'd be rooting for them."
When they
Even my wife, even Gina was like, "Oh, you're not gonna vote. You're not gonna root for them." Yes, I would. I want to see a New York team finally win something. The Yankees aren't doing anything right now. The Mets aren't doing anything. The Knicks did what the Knicks always do. They blew it.
the Mets
Don't
have
start
Grimace.
about football. The
The
Mets
Mets
what?
have the Mets have Grimace.
Yeah, it's just sure. Like if the Islanders are going to be the team to do it, which I don't think that they are, but if it was the Islanders versus the Canes or versus Florida in the Eastern Conference Final to go to the Cup, I would vote for the Islanders. Would you not?
I would absolutely. When they played the Lightning,
But no one believes us. We're just
when they
typical Ranger liars.
back a couple of years ago when they played the Lightning in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals and they lost 1-0, I was rooting hard for the Islanders.
I'm saying
And for what it's worth, I think that had they beat the Lightning that series, I think they would have won the cup because I don't think that Montreal would have beaten them. So we came very close a couple of years ago to seeing the Islanders win a cup.
I know. All right, let's go back to your list.
All right, so we agree that. So you're saying that those three teams make the playoffs: the
Islanders
Rangers, the
are
Islanders, and Hurricanes.
Islanders need to show me that they can make the cup before I can
I
say they
I,
can make the
I
cup.
think they're going to make the playoffs. So
Sorry, the
the
playoffs.
next team, the Washington Capitals.
No,
They made the playoffs last year. They're not making it. They shouldn't have made it this
no.
past year.
Wait,
Listen, Ovechkin
actually,
is
I'll let you go.
42 goals away. Ovechkin is from Gretzky. So I think I'm rooting for that. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I
Are
do
you
like
rooting for that though?
what?
Are you rooting for that though?
It's going to happen. I mean, to see it in our lifetime, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess.
I just also want it to be known that I really, really like their coach, Spencer Carberry. Not
I'd
just
be
because
lying if I told you I knew about him.
he's
I know what he looks like.
Yeah, he looks like he has the same haircut as me. He goes to the same barber. But I think he's the youngest coach in the NHL, 42 years old. He's just very well spoken, and I like him a lot. Unfortunately I don't see the Capitals returning to the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
They barely made it. They had a cup of coffee quickly. They got swept by
The
the
shotgun to
team.
Red Bull.
They got swept by the team that plays in Manhattan, and yeah, they're not going to return.
Yeah, what's up with you calling it the Manhattan Hockey Club? Are you just trying to like troll the Utah Hockey Club?
Oh no, it has nothing to do with Utah.
So why do you keep calling them the Manhattan Hockey Club?
You know, our colors actually, our logo colors are that of the Utah Hockey Club.
Why do you call them the Manhattan Hockey Club?
Listen, as I alluded to at the beginning of our podcast, they broke my heart.
So you can't say their name. Is that what it is? It hurts you to say their name?
It's very painful.
I will say it was depressing. Like a week or two after they lost, it felt like I got broken up with, ran over by a car, dragged down the street, and then lit on fire.
You know what? I just want to say that them losing the way that they did may have been a blessing in disguise, because to be honest, if they didn't, are we having this podcast right now?
Probably not.
Do you remember when we decided to do this?
We were complaining to one another.
No. We decided to do this about 9 minutes after they got eliminated.
I do. Yeah. But it was so traumatic for me that to think back, I don't remember much.
You know what? Think about it this way. This is therapeutic.
There's a silver lining and everything, right?
Yes. Pittsburgh Penguins. They have not made the playoffs in 2 years. They're not making it again. They're old.
They are old.
They're old. They
have no Jakey Gensel.
What have they done? You know, for you to have any view that they're going to make the playoffs this upcoming season? Not them. They're not making it.
I agree. I don't think they do.
I'm going. By the way, I'm just going down the Metropolitan Division right here. The Philadelphia Flyers. They had it the whole season.
I can't wait for you to say the team that I've been wanting to talk about.
All right, we're getting to it.
The Philadelphia Flyers? No.
I think they might. They almost made it. They're a young team. They're a great team. I love John Tortorella. I know that he's extremely controversial.
I love him too. That guy's got balls.
And I do think that the players respect him. I'm gonna loop them into a maybe right now. I'll come back when we
John Tortorella. He says what people want to say. He says what everyone's thinking.
He has his players' backs, and I really like that. So I'm gonna so we have 3 teams who are going to make the playoffs so far. I'm going to put the Flyers in a purgatory right now. I'm neither here nor there, and I'm going to go out on a limb with this next team. Actually, I want to hear your thoughts first. The New Jersey Devils.
No.
You don't think they're going to make the playoffs?
No.
They're going to make the playoffs.
No. You've been saying this.
They're going to make the playoffs. Dude, why didn't they make the playoffs this past year? Okay, they were filled with injuries. I don't think Lindy Ruff was a good coach. Okay, they're going to fix a lot of that this year. They're going to be healthy to start the season. They have Sheldon Keefe behind the bench. He was the coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto was a good team under him. I think he's a great coach. They fixed their goaltending situation. Jacob Markstrom.
What do they have now?
Markstrom. Okay, he's going to be between the pipes. That's a legitimate NHL goaltender. Jack Hughes is going to be healthy. They're going to make the playoffs. They were one of the best teams 2 seasons ago. Okay, and they fell off a little bit this last season because of injuries and because of goaltending and coaching. Okay, they fixed all of that, and they're going to make the playoffs.
Say it.
If they make the playoffs, they're going to make the playoffs this year. And when they make the playoffs, you're going to have to wear a Devils jersey.
As long as it's not Jack Hughes, I'll wear it.
Okay, done. That's the
Brendan Smith. Brendan Smith, I want. The plug, Smitty the plug.
Smitty, former Ranger. Okay, Columbus Blue Jackets.
No.
I'm not wasting a second of time. Although for some reason the Rangers cannot beat them.
Elvis Merzlikins, however he says his name.
All right. So are you firm on only those three teams from the Metropolitan Division are going to make the playoffs? Because you said no to the Capitals, you said no to the Penguins, said no to the Flyers, no to the Devils, and no to the Blue Jackets.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I only disagree with you on the Devils. I think they're going to make it, and I also looped in the Flyers there as a maybe.
If
But let's
you
go.
disagree with me on the team that I've been thinking about this whole time, I don't know. I'm just gonna be in shock. I'm waiting for you to say it. Do you know which team I'm talking about?
I think so. Should I just go to that team right now? Is it the Detroit Red Wings?
Yes. We could go back to them. Let's follow order.
All right. The Florida Panthers. Are they
Yes.
going back to the playoffs? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I like that. That's what I'm asking you. Like, are they? Like, I mean, they didn't really move many guys, right?
They don't need to. Well, I mean,
no. I'm saying like they didn't have free agents that are now gone.
Vladimir Tarasenko, Brandon Montour. I'm missing one or two. But they're a good team, and Paul Maurice is a great coach. They're back in the playoffs without a doubt.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just didn't know if they made a lot of moves from like their past team.
They did, but you know, the core is still there.
Who did Montour sign with?
I forgot. I want to say, was it
Seattle? I'm
gonna
look it up while you talk.
Let me know. Was it Seattle or Vancouver? I think he went out west.
All right, who do you have next?
He signed with the Kraken, Seattle.
Yeah, he beat me.
The Boston Bruins.
Yeah,
they're gonna make it. They're done. They're done in round one.
Even though Brad Marchand's the biggest clown in the whole league, biggest.
He has a role to do, and you know.
Do you actually like him? I'm being serious.
I do.
You.
I do because he knows what his role is, and
why do I feel like you're Tom?
What?
Hello?
You hear me?
Yeah. Why do I feel like you like Tom Wilson?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. But those are two different players.
Okay.
Those are two different players. Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah. Kucherov, Gensel. Goaltending. Let's not forget goaltending there.
Let me get back. Let me get back to them in 1 second. The Detroit Red Wings. I say yes.
100%. This is the team that I'm probably top 5 excited to see. Like, obviously, I'm not going to watch all their games. You have Vladimir Tarasenko and Patrick Kane reuniting. Now, they didn't play long at all. With Kane got hurt or whatever. I don't remember exactly. Did Tarasenko get hurt too?
No.
Whatever.
Kane had off-season surgery and just put up 47 points in 50 games last year.
Exactly. Their time playing together was short-lived. I think I TikTok about this. As embarrassing as it is to say that, I made a TikTok about this. They're gonna tear it up together, and they're gonna be a problem. The Detroit Red Wings are gonna be a problem this year.
I believe the Rangers play them twice in their first 4 games this upcoming season.
Yeah, they're gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be fun to watch. They should have made the playoffs last year. You know, just their luck ran out. But I agree with you. They're gonna be a team to watch this year. A lot of fun. And you know, when Detroit's an original 6 team, so you know they know it's fun hockey when Detroit's playing well.
Exactly.
So I agree with you there. And then these last three teams. I'm just going to rattle them off because I think you and I share the same view on it. They
Ottawa,
are not
no.
going to make the playoffs. Ottawa, no. Montreal, no. Buffalo, no. Buffalo, out of those three teams, Buffalo may make a run, but I just think that the East has too many strong teams in front of Buffalo. So let's break this down quickly. From the Metropolitan Division, we agreed that it would be the Rangers, the Hurricanes, and the Islanders. From the Atlantic Division, we agreed that it was going to be the Panthers, Bruins, Maple Leafs, and Red Wings. I am going to, and you said Lightning too.
I
I
did.
am going to I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I am going to say that the Tampa Bay Lightning do not make the playoffs this year, and I am going to say that the Philadelphia Flyers do.
Okay.
That's my take. I think, we're close enough.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Watch how we just totally get uprooted and it's all wrong.
Yeah, it's like Ottawa, Buffalo.
Yeah, listen, but that'll be good.
Montreal.
That'll be good.
Maybe that's what the league needs.
Listen, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So,
well, as sad as I am to see summer ending, not ending, but end. I always have hockey to look forward to. It's a big thing between us and everything, and it's definitely something that makes the winter a little bit easier for me.
Yeah, 100%. Look, in about a month and a half, we're gonna have hockey at the Garden again. So
yeah,
it's gonna be
crazy.
It's gonna be fun, and
all right.
it.
Well, that was a lot of fun, and that was fun, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we might be good at this.
I don't know. We have to watch it back and see all of like me sitting there like
you watch it back. You watch it back. You let me know because I can't hear my own voice over camera.
Well, I can't hear my own voice either. You can't hear it until you replay it. But thanks, everyone.
I'm saying I don't like to listen to my own voice. It's
I know. And then you ask your wife, and she's like, "You did great. You sounded so good."
We just like go back and say for the third time, our wives are extremely supportive.
Yes.
And to anyone who's already followed our social media pages and who's aware of our endeavors here, we appreciate the support. If you guys could spread the word, and if it's something that people like, we're happy to put content out there. And
any suggestions too? Comment, DM, whatever. Like I run all the socials. TikTok's coming soon. We have the account, but something happened. So probably another couple weeks for TikTok clips. You'll be seeing me and Brandon make whatever. Maybe we'll even take TikTok to a game and be cringy and make a TikTok at the game. But again, like Brandon said, shout out to our wives. Every time I post something, it's either my wife or Brandon's wife. First like, repost Brandon's wife or my wife. Like, shout out to you guys. We love you. And like, subscribe, comment, share, like Brandon said, whatever you guys want to do, and we'll be back soon.
And if anybody's pets have social media accounts, please have them like and follow.
Yeah, those ghost accounts, they help out. All right, guys. See you later.
Later.